Good evening. The painting is very close to being finished. I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of tell you about my vision for the scene, and we'll go through some colors. The next time you see the painting, it will be finished, and then I'll just sort of zoom in, do the zoomies and scan it a little bit. But I've had a busy day actually just varnishing and beginning and logging in, titling paintings and what have you. I have a number of paintings that have to go off to various galleries, and that's been my day. So I didn't have a lot of time to paint, but I did get some done on here. I'm happy with it, and it's very close to finished, as I said. So let me just start with what I'm seeing when I look at this. My idea behind it. The light is coming from this direction and behind us a little bit. It's not hitting these trees very much. It's really coming down here and focusing on things. The source of light for the painting is from there. It's not here. We're seeing this, but it's a secondary glow from mist, clouds going by. Sort of not very well defined clouds. Really, I'd just call it sort of ambient moisture. So we have, I'm seeing this, all right? So the play of light on here in general rests mostly with the scene itself, the upper part. Just to the left of us is a large bank of trees. This, oops, sorry, I shouldn't kick the tripod, I guess. This little cove ends, okay? It's a breezy day. But that breeze picks up to the right when you go off canvas and get out into open water. In this little cove, it closes and you have these large trees, and the light that's coming, the direct source of light that's coming, casts a shadow across this because the water is slightly rippled. It's not super calm. But to the left of that, we're in the shadow of these trees that are on the left, as is this big boulder, right? Or this big chunk of bedrock, and obviously the water on the left-hand side. We come to the right and we have sunlight actually hitting the water and reflecting back to us, in combination with the fact that we do have a lighter sky from behind here. So that helps to shape the reflection of dark, it's supported by this boulder above it and the dark area down here. I laid in this sliver here. It needs a few highlights, but I just see that as a bit of a eroded, sandy gully, because the landscape here above the bedrock is pretty sandy in my opinion. So I thought that made a nice slice, and mainly actually it's for the sake of design. I just wanted something more interesting here, fairly warm, within the family of colors that are here. Okay, so speaking of colors, I know that I went through my colors pretty thoroughly when I was painting the sky. If I make a mistake now going through them, forgive me, and go back to the other video that had to do with the sky being painted. So, our sky, the blues, cobalt blue, yellow ochre, okay, no, the blues. The colors are cobalt blue, alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, and we get into the intensity here, and we are with a little bit of cad yellow pale and yellow ochre. And obviously varying degrees of white. I use white on almost every color that I put on a painting, so I often just ignore the fact that I'm using white. My white is always titanium white. Alright, so that's that. These hills, if I remember correctly as well, were, the blue that I used on there was cobalt blue. Cobalt blue, alizarin crimson, bits of yellow ochre, a bit of... That's it, and degrees of white. These trees, the foliage on these trees. And for that matter, this grassy area. All of it. Ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, bits of burnt sienna in places. And yeah, the trunks are just burnt sienna and a little bit of ultramarine blue, and of course white in places. So it's kind of funny that you can have these colors, you know, the trunks, the foliage, and the grass, all using 3 colors and white. But you vary them enough in their proportions, and in conjunction with the direction of your brush strokes, the how heavy you lay the paint on, they look very different from each other, even though they're still within the same family. This little slice of sandy area, which needs a few highlights, that's cobalt blue and yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, a bit of white. It needs a little warming up. Burnt sienna and white, just this little spot here. All of the rocks, ultramarine blue, raw umber, burnt sienna in a few places, hints of yellow ochre in a few places, very small bits of alizarin crimson in a few places, and that's it. You know, I'm seeing raw umber as just in these rocks, but I think I used a little bit of raw umber in the sky in places, and even here, just to take it down a notch. If I were just to mix yellow ochre and alizarin crimson, yellow ochre and white in these hills, they'd be very strong, a little too strong. I want them subdued, I want them to stay in the background. Raw umber does a wonderful job of killing those colors a little bit. If you add too much, they go muddy. But if you add a bit of it, it can really help to take the noise down a touch. The water, back to like a lot of cobalt blue here, maybe a little too much. It's very, very blue. I'm probably going to tone this down more in the direction of this higher value than this, but more of these colors to take it off the edge of the painting. It's a very strong bar right now, and I think I'd like to tone it down on this right hand side. And I'd also like to join this intensity of light that's caught the water here and here. I'd like to join these two just to break this bar. You know, we have this general sweep coming off the sky, down to the tree, down the grassy hill, across the rocks, down to the water, and then it breaks here. I'd like to join this and this a little bit. That's just going to be a matter of a couple of strokes. And then we come to this boulder, this foreground boulder, that we're pretty much standing on to view this. There it can stop. That's good. That keeps us from leaving the painting. And then going off to the left too, you know, it's, okay, sorry, the color, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, bits of yellow ochre, and white. So here more cobalt blue. Here we're getting into the ultramarine blues. Down here we're really just ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. That's all. Very little white. But yeah, there are, I need a whole bunch of little strokes in different places. I won't take you along with me for that. I'll just show you the painting when it's finished and then move on from there. But yeah, I think that's my colors. That's the idea, you know. We're sort of standing in the shade. We have shade to the left, and that just supports the strength of the light that's here. Did not want to put a lot more light on this big tree, on the main tree, or this one, because I wanted this to act as a silhouette. I think that brings a lot of strength to the top. If I were to start putting a lot of light on the foliage up here, it would compete with this. And the whole top half of the painting would fall. It would become quite weak. And I don't like a weak painting. Decisive strokes makes for a strong painting, and it makes for strong mistakes. I'll live with the mistakes, that's fine. Well, you can correct mistakes. That's, I think, about it. I have another 30 by 30, same size as this one, that I might start. I might not. I might actually go to the store and I need to order some paint actually, and maybe I'll pick up a different shape. I've done a couple of square paintings lately, and I wouldn't mind changing it up a bit, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, whatever happens, next time you see this, it'll be finished, and the world will be good. The world will be just fine. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you later.